What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pull the Pin podcast. It's me and Tom. Tom's eating his lunch. Dan's over here eating his lunch.
What's up, guys?
We're here today to talk a little bit about the season last year and what we're getting into this year with the PGA Tour. So we have lots of lists and statistics and everything that will throw your way. I think first we'll talk a little review. Obviously, Dustin Johnson won the FedEx Cup. Running away at the end of the season. We'll get into how Tommy doesn't necessarily feel like the FedEx Cup is the best thing out there. And then, we'll talk a little bit about the standings right now in 2021. And then we'll make some picks for some of these majors coming up. A lot's coming, and we'll obviously be doing majors podcasts as well that will, keep us relevant, I guess. But glad you're here. Hope you enjoy what we got for you today. No tournaments this weekend, right? I think it's next weekend.
Starting in Hawaii.
Yep, the Hawaii Swing, which is a ton of fun. Those are great courses to watch. And new equipment gets released, which hopefully there's no hold up with that with COVID or anything like that. So,
well, regardless, we'll start seeing it on tour, though.
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
It'll make the tour debut.
I mean, I just got my new equipment, so I'm not really thinking about anyone else.
Flex.
Yeah, well, I can't help it, Hope somebody else got out and got to play today up here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It got up to like 56 degrees. We were out at Overlook. At least I was. These two guys were stuck here at our gracious host, Golf Etc. Once again, best little golf store in Lancaster County. Come in and get your stuff and get fitted and try out the TrackMan 4 and figure out what you need to do to get better, get some lessons, all that good stuff.
Yep.
But let's get right into last year. I mean, there was so much talk about Bryson DeChambeau hitting the ball 4 million yards and how that was, he was changing the game, and then got to the Masters saying it was going to be a par 67 and ended up, shooting over par, and he pulled it together a little bit the last day, losing to a guy though that's, how old's Bernhard Langer? 61?
Older, 63.
63?
I think he's my dad.
That's right. He had the lowest score for the age. And, there's a guy who's, hitting it 240, 250.
Was his average drive. 250 was his average drive at the Masters and beat Bryson DeChambeau.
Yep. So, I mean, you're talking about some neat little intricacies going on right now.
Yeah, Bryson's, to me, is the biggest, drawing factor right now to golf, and I don't mean that in a negative way at all. What I love about Bryson is he takes this whole thing with launch monitors that we make such a big deal about here, is looking at his launch and spin, looking at his club head speed. Obviously is the big thing that stands out with Bryson, but his attack angle, playing with loft, all those things, and he's trying to get the absolute most out of his equipment, which can go a really long way, especially when you're talking about the difference between the number one player in the world and the number 250 player in the world is probably really small in reality, other than maybe one guy's slightly mentally tougher. Any advantage you can get equipment-wise is huge, And that's what I love about Bryson is he's, unapologetically always looking for a way to get better, whether that's his swing, whether that's his equipment, whether that's his mental approach. I mean, I saw something where he literally would practice keeping his brain calm while watching horror movies in order to be in an intense situation and keep his, pulse and everything down in that, scenario. So the fact that, you're someone who's willing to go to whatever length possible to be their best version of themselves, I respect. I just wish he would stop with some of the cockiness where it's like, okay, Augusta's a par 67. If Augusta's a par 67, he shot 20 over in the Masters. So, and fun fact, if it's a par 67, Dustin Johnson shoots even.
Right.
So,
it just that's the kind of stuff that turns me off with him. But I mean, let's talk about him last year. Had a great year, 9 top 10s. He won the U.S. Open. Was second in a tournament and third in a tournament once. So, I mean, he had the second most top 10s of any other golfer outside of Justin Thomas. Justin Thomas, who finished with 10. I guess it's a good time to start talking about your FedEx Cup feelings. Because for me, I kind of agree with you. I like Dustin Johnson's game. Justin Thomas is one of the guys I like a lot. And you feel like Justin Thomas was, more of the player of the year last year than Dustin Johnson.
Justin Thomas had the best year in golf, in my opinion. If you don't overvalue majors, if you don't overvalue the FedEx Cup, I mean, 10 top 10s,
3 wins,
a second,
2 seconds.
2 seconds, and a third. So, I mean, of those top 10s, 6 of them are really top 3s.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
And he was consistent all year long. I mean, halfway through the year, it was a very short period of time, but Dustin couldn't break 80.
Right.
And so
I mean,
the fact that he wins 2 playoff events and jumps all the way to the top, including kind of a BS win at the Tour Championship with the new setup,
I'm not a fan of that.
I hate that. Is that the one where they start him ahead?
Yep.
He started at 10 under.
can't
Like,
stand that.
all you had to do was play half decent to win,
Now, in his defense, though, there's a guy, he was in the top 10 7 times, Dustin Johnson. He won 3 tournaments. He was second twice.
Yeah, but one of those wins is he started at 10
Sure,
under.
yeah, absolutely. So I feel the same way about the FedEx Cup, and it's one of those things we were talking before we came on about how it doesn't matter until you get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Your FedEx Cup standings don't really do anything for you until you get to that point.
Other than making it,
Exactly. So,
And I get it. Like, it's the same thing in baseball. You play a 162 game season, make a wild card, and then play 1 game to see if you keep going
Right.
or not. I get it, but
Wasn't Stewart Sink randomly
yes,
Because
number
he had to win.
6 or
Because he
7
had to
like
win.
He had to win,
the
yeah.
whole year
Yeah.
because of 1 win? Like,
Yeah.
I just didn't. I don't.
my
understand.
biggest thing is I just don't like how many more points you get for a playoff win versus
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
especially when you're not playing any courses that are that much more difficult.
Yep.
If anything, you play Torrey Pines in the middle of the year, only get 300 points for a win, and then you go play TPC Boston where you
could just shatter it.
you just destroy it and
Right.
you get what
Yeah,
500
like Stewart
some
Sink
points.
was ranked number 4, and he had 1 win and 2 top 10s.
Well, no, that's this year. That's right now. He's ranked number 4.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right now he's ranked number 4.
So this podcast will turn me into a golfer. Gint, what's up, brother? Gint is one of the TPL faithful. We want to send a quick shout out to the Painted Lions for letting us be part of their group. I mean, they are awesome. Gint does the Philly faithful. Gint, I'm going to miss some. Throw them into the comments so I can get all the stuff you guys are doing right now, because I watch just about every one of them and comment on all of them. It's hilarious. I love it. It's just a ton of fun. So here's who was your breakout guy from last year? Who's the guy you thought made the most of his year that was kind of we're not going to say a no name, but we're going to say somebody that was.
There's in my opinion, Dan just pointed out one of them, but there's 4 guys. 3 of them get the attention they deserve. 1 doesn't. That are basically to me the next wave of Ricky Fowler, Spieth.
I want to see if one of
JT.
you guys says my guy right now, so I'll go for it.
The 3 that everyone's going to know is Matt Wolff,
Victor
Yeah,
Victor Hovland,
that's my guy.
Colin Morikawa, and then the guy who gets no respect is Scotty Scheffler.
Scotty Scheffler is a really good
completely
player.
agree with that
Really
statement.
good player.
Yep.
I mean, he shot 59 this year.
Yeah,
and-
it gets no respect for it
like,
whatsoever.
yeah, it was casual too.
Mhm.
Just
Well, but that's
he made
partly
9 birdies and an eagle.
Mhm.
one of the crazy parts of the PGA game today, though, is with the equipment, guys aren't phasing out like they used to.
Mhm.
You're seeing like Phil Mickelson's, one of the greatest of all time. I'm not,
I agree.
but he's still able to go out there and pound it out there with most of these guys. Now, he's a freak, don't get me wrong, but you see guys like, Jim Furyk playing in a couple of PGA events, still hangs around the top 10, from time to time, usually places that he likes playing. He gets out.
Phil's definitely over. His odds are always way pumped up more than they should be.
Absolutely.
Like, I get annoyed when he's like a top 25 favorite to win the Masters. So I'm like, all right, let's calm down. Like,
Right.
But definitely.
But then he
still
can
get
go
it.
out
The
and have the
worst
day
is
he
when they
did the first
favor
day.
for the U.S. Open. That's the worst.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
the worst.
yeah.
I'm sorry, but that just has to go
Yeah.
down as like the worst prediction in golf.
It really is.
I
a
mean,
tough one to swallow.
He's not going to win one. It's just not going to happen.
So Victor Hovland's a guy that I really like. Out of Oklahoma State,
Mhm.
already has a win. Is he a guy that you think wins a major next year, or are we going to wait a couple years?
I'd say wait a couple years. I think he has the right attitude, though. That he's the kind of guy that Spieth could learn from. Spieth, I feel like, just gets so down on himself, and it's starting to become a long-term thing. I don't think Victor Hovland could miss a 2-foot putt and he'd still smile like he just smoked a
Right.
blunt after. You know, I mean, that guy is an airhead in the best kind of way.
Yeah,
you know?
well, and I mean, I love those guys.
Mhm.
You know, I know we've already talked a lot about Dustin Johnson, but in the little preview video that I did that we popped out, you know, it shows him winning the Masters, hitting that last tap in, and like his reaction was with a smile. You know, the rare smile out of the guy,
Yeah.
and you need that now. Like some media say that that's why golf isn't more popular because there's no personality, but there's plenty of personality. It's a game that you can't appreciate until you play it.
Mhm.
I mean, there's a lot of golf fans out there that, you know, probably don't play a lot of golf, but they've played enough to understand that it's like, man, this game is hard. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I was a really good baseball player just like you, and when you start seeing the ball isn't moving and you still can't hit it where you want to, it's a difficult thing.
Yeah, and that's the best part is Dan, when he comes back, will tell you he doesn't understand. Now, Dan's a freak for you who don't know. He's like a +4 handicap. He's been playing golf for only 5 years kind of thing. And he doesn't understand why people can't break par because he's like, it's just sitting there. And I'm like, okay, Dan, well, then you're just the special case because that's not how most of us view it. You know?
Yeah, there are a lot of guys out there that it just comes natural to. Well, not a lot of guys, but there are people that happens, and it's something that certainly is not something that comes naturally to me. And I'm not a bad player. So both the guys are taking care of somebody at the store. So get online, throw us some questions. We're going to start talking when they get back from dealing with a couple of customers about the upcoming majors in 2021. Obviously, there was no British Open this past year or the Open Championship this past year because of COVID. We did get to see a Masters. We did get to see a U.S. Open at different times of the year, and we did get to see a Players. And those 3 winners are guys that are, you know, really, you know, on the way up. So you've got, you know, well, either on the way up or are already there. Dustin Johnson, obviously already there, solidified player. Colin Morikawa coming out and winning the Players, and just, you know, with this smooth swing, he's just a silky player. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch for a number of years. And then we go back to Bryson DeChambeau once again, who won the U.S. Open, going away at an extremely difficult course. And it was, you know, just all Bryson. So, you know, those are a couple of the guys that, you know, we're really looking out for. A couple of guys that I'm looking to see something out of. I'd like to see Kevin Kisner come out and win a couple of tournaments this upcoming year. And, you know, just some guys that need to dial it back in. Jordan Spieth's name came up earlier today. You know, a 3-time major winner that can't seem to get over the hump all of a sudden with a swing fall. You know, you look for him to come and make a comeback in 2021 to find his game a little bit. The guy's a good putter, but it seems to just not be able to get off the tee right now. And as a pro golfer, that's just not going to work. I was just talking about Jordan Spieth a little bit.
It's
talking about some
T2
guys.
green, though.
Sure.
You know, he's generally a great putter.
That's it, yep.
In reality, hasn't putt very well for a long time. You know, especially 10 feet in. He's one of the very mediocre at best.
Yeah.
Statistically.
I was talking about guys that we're looking to see maybe make a comeback a little bit here in 2021, or even just get out of kind of the shadows. I said Kevin Kisner is a guy that I think has the ability to win a major at some point.
For sure.
You know, Jordan Spieth trying to get himself back in it. Love how you guys do this live. Enjoy, fellas. Thanks, Gint.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, we
appreciate it, man.
And maybe this is a beating a dead horse, but to me, I think we're going to see a Ricky win here in the next 3 months.
You love yourself some Ricky. I'm with you. I like Ricky a
but
lot.
I am a fan of Ricky, so sometimes it's a biased thing, but I still don't think he'll ever win a major. I think that, in my opinion, that's changed. I just don't think he's geared that way. But I think we're going to see a little bit of backlash. Him falling out of the top 50. You know, last time something like that happened to him is when everyone voted him the most overrated player and then went out and won the Players the next week.
Yep.
I think he's going to hear from his fellow guys and fans about how he's not going to make the Masters and he's going to come out. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think he's playing at Kiowa. I don't think he – or not Kiowa. I don't think he made he didn't win last year, so I don't think
Right.
he's going to be playing in the Champions event.
No,
But I
hopefully
could
they'll
see
want
him.
after that,
I
though.
bet you if he's playing at all in Hawaii, which I'm sure he's probably scheduled himself for every event between now and the Masters at this rate.
Yeah, those of you who are watching that don't know about this, Ricky needs to basically win an event between now and the Masters to be eligible for the Masters. He's out of the top 50. Ricky Fowler, a fan favorite. When we were talking earlier about guys who don't have any personality, Ricky certainly does.
Mm-hmm.
Wears the loud clothes, has a different haircut or mustache,
Yep.
which I'm all about. I love the mustache, but coming up here in January from the 14th to the 17th, we've got the Sony Open, and then the American Express and the Farmers Insurance Open in 3 consecutive weeks.
If he's in the field now, I don't know that for a fact. I'm assuming he's probably signing up for every event he can at this point.
Right.
But my super out there pick would be for him to win the Sony Open.
The Sony Open?
Right out the gate. It's an easy course, kind of.
Yeah.
He can go low there. Justin Thomas shot 59 for the first time there.
Yeah.
I think if he knows he's in, make it to the Champions event this year, and I think he's going to come right out the gate and set this straight real quick. And I wish he had that attitude more of the time. I think when he's the kind of guy that's kind of giving it half-ass, and that's probably not the right word, but very nonchalant until his buddy says something negative about him, and then he's like, "Hey, let me show you what's up."
Right.
And I wish he had that attitude more of the time. I wish he'd take that about the fact he hasn't won a major.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing. I'll take that back. I think once the narrative changes from Ricky's the best player in the world to not win a major to he's never going to win a major, once people start saying that, that's when he'll win his first major. Because he's just that guy. He doesn't like to be not liked or that his talent is doubted.
Right.
So once that narrative changes, that's probably when he'll win
Pull
two
it out,
in a row or something. Something stupid.
I think a guy that I'm looking for to break out and be. I mean, he had a really great year last year. He had 7 top 10s, but no wins. 1 second, 1 third, I believe. Tony Finau. I think Tony Finau is a guy that can win in a tight moment. He needs to refine his putting a little bit. Needs to be a little bit more touchful around the greens.
The Ready putter guy, which is pure.
Yeah, but I think he's a guy that can do it. I love him and John Rahm's swing, where it's so small and compact, but they're these giant guys that can just bomb it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that those two guys really, have a chance to win a major this upcoming year, and I hope they do. I think it'd be really fun to see some guys win majors this year that haven't been there before. I loved watching Colin Morikawa go out and win the Players.
Mm-hmm.
Watching Dustin Johnson win the Masters was cool, but I like seeing new blood in that atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
So
For sure.
Dan's still with a customer over there.
Yeah.
Oops, wrong podcast. Oh, Dives. Oh, would you go with Jalen Hurts or Carson Wentz in 2021? Dives, I'm going Wentz. It looked like Wentz was playing for him last week. If you want to hear my position on it, I think it has more to do with coaching than it does anything right now. They look terrible. They also need to get healthy. Mm-hmm. Favorite tournament that's coming up. I mean, we talked about this in our original podcast, our first one ever. Really excited for the Waste Management Open in February. It's a big party. Everybody's out there having a good time. Hole 16, it's the par 3 16th, the stadium hole where you get booed if you don't make the green. They go nuts. Hole in 1, they're throwing beer at you. That's just one of my favorites because I'm an athlete outside of golf before I was a golfer, and love that interaction. What's one that you're looking for right out the gate?
I love the Hawaii swing because it's primetime golf. It's the best. It's a great time. Obviously here in the Northeast, January, you're just not playing golf, and it kind of sucks. But you can turn Golf Channel on at 8 at night and watch a whole tournament.
Yep.
And it's always the best guy. You get all the people who won last year playing on a course that will probably none of us will ever play.
Right.
And, get to –
on an island that's barely bigger than the course.
Exactly, yeah. And it's just you get to see all the best players in the world playing. in prime time. I'll never forget Dustin Johnson almost making a hole-in-one on a 400-yard par 4.
That's right, yeah.
And I still don't know how that ball stopped,
Yeah,
Like
those greens with how fast they are. It just,
yeah.
Absolutely.
And I don't know how it came up a little short. But, that's one of I'll never forget watching that. And it's honestly – it's just like a sign that it's like, okay, like it's starting to be winter, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. And
it's like the hardest thing for me in the world to watch those tournaments because I'm looking outside and it's like snow. And they're down in Hawaii, and it's just beautiful, and I just want to go out and play so badly. It's just that's where my brain goes right away. Another cool event that comes up in February in 2021 will be the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. That's always fun. You get to see, some professional athletes out there playing, some comedians, some actors. You get your Bill Murray sighting of the year where he's out having a good time, cracking jokes with the fans and just doing his thing. So that's another fun one coming up. But let's talk more about guys that we want to see make a big turn this year. Another name that comes up a lot, Daniel Berger. I think, here's a guy, he's 7 top 10s last year, really, really does play the game well, did have a win. He was second in a tournament, he had 2/3. I thought he really made a big leap last year. What do you think, where do you think he finishes out this year? Do you think he wins a big tournament or just continues on this kind of middle of the pack?
I think he is another guy along with Scotty Scheffler doesn't get the rep he does with the other up-and-coming guys. I think Daniel Berger doesn't get enough credit.
No, I don't either. I think you're right.
Easily could have won a British Open. Easily could have won a U.S. Open, in one of his first attempts. Favorite thing about him is he won back-to-back. He won his first year, I think, at the St. Jude, then defended, and both times just had a massive chaw and right on national TV doing it.
That's my kind of guy, man.
What a guy.
That was my Duffner feel back in the day.
A fat lippin', just winning defending his title. That's Southern boy at his best. So
I got no problem with that out on the golf course.
That guy is an underappreciated putter, is what he is. He's another guy. He's a worse Patrick Reed. As much as that sucks
Poor
to say.
man's Patrick Reed.
But
that's a good comparison.
His game is solid. He's not the best ball striker in the world, not the longest off tee, but he doesn't have any poor attributes of his game.
Right.
Patrick Reed probably does a little better than he does, but a guy that's been on President Cup teams, and I don't know if he played in the Ryder Cup. I know he played in President's Cup.
He wasn't on the Ryder Cup last time. I'm almost sure of it.
But definitely a guy to watch out for. I think he'll be another guy who'll just kind of like he's a worse Patrick Reed and a better Charles Howell III. I think he'll get a win every now and again, but he's not going anywhere anytime soon for sure.
So let's get into the majors a little bit. We're about 23 minutes into the podcast here. We haven't talked about the upcoming majors. We talked a little bit about last year's weird major schedule with the COVID-19 set off. And now we move into the 2021 season, hoping that everything stays the way it is. In March, you get the Players. In April, you get the Masters. Is it June, you get the U.S. PGA, and then July is
June is U.S. Open. Yeah. PGA is May.
Okay, PGA. Oh, that's right. PGA is in May now. So, who do you like right now going into those situations? I mean, I know it's super early to tell. We've got some, data on guys, but if we're going to talk about, the Players coming up in March, at TPC Sawgrass. If you had to pick somebody right now, and we'll pick different guys, or we'll, maybe you stick with the same when we get closer. But if you had to pick somebody, who is it and why?
For me, it's John Rahm. He's been trending up. Easy picks Dustin, but anytime I feel like golf's one of those sports that you build up momentum and then you win, and then it kind of peters off. And he's already had the Tour Championship and he's had the Masters now, and I don't think he's going to take this longer break and then continue the momentum into the Players.
Sure.
But John Rahm is hungry. You can see it. He's obviously got the talent. That's not a question, but he's starting to work his way up with that, and I think he'd be a perfect guy to come out and win the Players.
Just signed a deal with Callaway, too.
Just signed a deal with Callaway.
That's right. He is a Callaway guy now.
Callaway guy.
So, I mean, for me, I think that Justin Thomas comes out and wins quickly. I think the Players Championship is a great place for him to come out and get a dub. Mainly just because he's been so consistent. He's always in the hunt, and I feel like he needs to break through, early this year. I personally think that he has an opportunity to win more than one major this year. Dan, we're talking about the Players Championship in March, who we've got at this point, and why we've got them. So far, Tommy's liking John Rahm. I think Justin Thomas is going to get off to a hot start this year. I think that's going to be a tournament that's winnable for him. It's TPC Sawgrass.
Yeah.
It fits his game well, and he ended the year pretty strong. So I really like where he's at. Where are your thoughts?
I don't know, man. I mean, it's kind of hard to not go with Justin Thomas at this point. I mean, he's just playing.
He's playing great
lights
golf.
out.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to look at your consistent players up there. I mean, Kuchar's won on that golf course.
Yes, he has.
I mean,
I'd love to see Kuch get a.
I wouldn't mind seeing Kuchar win. Now, granted, do I think he will? Probably not. But I mean, he's been playing some steady golf, and
I think he wins it.
He knows how to win there.
Yeah.
I mean, he won there in 2012. I mean, he knows what it takes, and he edged out Tiger that year.
That's
So
right.
it's like, how can you really go against that? But
Man, you just brought the elephant up in the room. We went 26 minutes and 33 seconds without talking about Tiger Woods.
Wow, really?
Yeah, we're talking about golf in 2021, and we did not bring up Tiger Woods or his son Charlie yet.
Don't even get us started on Charlie.
No.
Kid's a stud,
People
man.
will stop watching.
Kid is an absolute stud. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, if I were to pick right now, it'd probably be Justin Thomas. I mean, it's just the way he's playing right now, it's just lights out.
Since we brought the name up, does Tiger win this year? Not even a major. Does he win a tournament this year? I mean, he doesn't play a lot. He picks and chooses. Does he win a tournament?
I don't think he'll win anything massive, but I think he'll win. I think he'll have another win similar to what he did like the Zozo.
Yep.
Like when he'll go somewhere that's not, I wouldn't say massive, but yeah, I could see him doing it.
I don't know. I've been a Tiger supporter, since I started, watching golf, and he doesn't have that same cold-bloodedness that he once did, and maybe part of that is you're getting older, you've been through a lot, but
I don't really think anybody does right now. Like
I don't know. There's some stone cold killers on tour that just need to be in the hunt at the right time. I think.
I think. Well, as far as the mentality that Tiger had back in the day, where Tiger just he didn't talk to anybody.
No.
He wasn't smiling. He wasn't. I mean, very rarely you ever saw him show any kind of emotion. He was just balls to the wall, game face 24/7 when he was back in his prime. I mean, he was so. I'm trying to think if there's anybody on tour that's like that right now.
Not that we know about. I mean, there might be.
I mean, maybe Koepka, maybe.
Yeah, but I think Koepka. I think he's
still Koepka's a little loose.
Yeah.
For the most part, I mean, you can see Tiger was just 100%.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that
just bury.
Great story about the 2001 U.S. Open where he just blew everybody away by tied for the largest margin of victory.
You mean 2000? 2000,
I'm sorry. Thank you. And on the last day, his only goal was to not make a bogey. And it's talk about just a different mindset than normal people out there. That's just crazy. When you walk into a tournament, and you're about to win a major, and all you're telling yourself is, my goal today is not to win the major, but it's to not make a bogey.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean, he just wasn't even. He wasn't on the same plane.
The elephant in the room got brought up. We went 26 minutes without talking about Tiger, and he came up. And I said to Dan, do you think he wins a tournament this year? Not necessarily a major, but a tournament.
No. See, I disagree.
He's a quick no.
I don't think he'll win anything big.
He played 3 times last year. You can't win doing that.
Yeah, I just don't
but he's
think
also
he plays
it. So
I mean, he's going to play in the majors.
When he won the Masters, he was playing a full schedule still.
Yeah,
he's true. He was terrible. Not only 3 years ago when he was trying to come back and play his normal, his old normal schedule where he'd just play the big tournaments and he'd get blown out every week.
Well, the other problem that he runs into is, and I fight the same thing, not like he does, but we both have fusions. I have a fusion in my spine. He has one in his neck. He can't travel like most people. So, I would have, if I were him, I don't think I'd even want to play in the Open Championship. Making that flight that time of year over there, just trying to get loose.
Unless you go 2 weeks earlier or something.
Even still, that weather doesn't suit that kind of injury. Like, I mean, now I'm not a professional athlete, so like I do my best to stay loose, but to be at the top of your game with an injury, like, well, not even an injury, but a reconstructed body like that is so difficult. So
Yeah.
How long until Charlie wins? Was he 11?
He's 11.
15 years?
I hate those conversations.
Yeah,
Just because it's just the fact that there are actual legitimate Vegas lines on him making the tour,
There's
winning
one,
his tournament.
There's
winning
one
his
that people
first
are
major.
like, if he'll win a Masters before his dad did, like the time
If you bet on that, you're a moron.
or the age.
Because
Well, no, I'm
I
not
might not
saying
even be
I
alive
agree.
by then. Like,
yeah, well,
I don't
not
agree
that,
with it at
well,
all
hopefully
because I
not
think it's
that,
ridiculous.
but it's just like kid's 11. Let him live. Like
Yep.
he might go pro in another sport. You don't know. Like
Exactly.
he
he
is
might be an investment banker.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he could.
Yeah, but
just,
it's all over. I thought it was at least worthy of spending at least 30 seconds on it because it's all over the golf channel.
Sure.
Like it's
Yeah.
it's anywhere you go on golf right now. People are like, "Oh, what about Charlie? Like, what do you think?"
I hope for his sake that his dad shelters him from all that.
He already-
Because
I think
it
he
was
already
it was
is.
it was cool to have him play for a week, but like, and I get it. Like the ratings were great, so we're gonna keep talking about Charlie Woods because to make more money if you're Golf Channel, but give the kid a break. I mean, Jesus, he made his first eagle just the other day. Like,
Right.
let's have him like.
Well,
You
let's just be
Yeah.
let's just
You got to
be
put it in
fair.
perspective what his dad was doing at 11.
The kid hasn't hit puberty yet, for God's sake.
Yeah.
I mean,
It just
I think
makes me
it's-
sick that people actually bet on that stuff. Like,
yeah.
why are we betting on an 11-year-old kid? Like, that's too much to me. But
Yeah. No, I agree.
So let's jump ahead. We just went through the players. The Masters will be in April. Obviously, the front runner going into the Masters out the gate will be Dustin Johnson because he won it last year, which I always think is funny that is how they pick the front runner going into tournaments. Is, oh, he won last year. Of course, he's going to win this year.
Yeah, I can't stand that either.
But I mean, out the gate, as much as I'm not a fan of this guy, that is a tournament that I see Patrick Reed winning this year. He's won it before. He hasn't really been in the hunt at that course the last couple of times there. This year, I see him coming out and really going after it. It's in his neck of the woods down, what about you,
I
Tommy?
already have Brooks Koepka as my pick for the Masters.
For the Masters?
Brooks Koepka. He's simply because Dustin just won.
Right.
That's it. No, like all he cares about is majors.
Yep.
His best friend and lifting partner just won there,
Yep.
and he loves the holdover. And he has 2 U.S. Opens, and he only has 1, and has 4 majors, and
Yeah.
Dustin only has 2. And you can't even really. You have to take the last fall with a grain of salt. That course played so different.
Yeah.
The green speeds were different. The amount of break you got was different.
You could just see it in some of the players' eyes. They were like, "Oh, this is just not at all
What they're
what
used
I'm
to.
used to."
Yeah.
I mean, just where
And
the
he was
sun
still right there. Though.
Yep. Yep.
And he had this bad first round or bad first 9 really, and so or else he just as easily could have won. Like Brooks Koepka, you guys can mark it down now. Brooks Koepka, your 2021 Masters champion.
Dan?
I couldn't even answer it at this point. Honest to God,
Dan's got to go.
I don't know. I can't. I mean, you could make an argument for like 20 players.
Well, that's the point right now. When the Masters gets here, we're going to sit down and we'll make another argument about it. But
And look,
these are the
every
now,
time I bet on a major, it's based off someone's progression leading into the Masters.
sure.
It's always about that. But if I had to pick right now, like with any kind of reasoning, I'd say Brooks because he wants to have that leg up over Dustin again.
Yep. And I mean that's me. Like come the Masters, like week before the Masters when we do a podcast and we're going to be talking about who we pick. It might not be Patrick Reed anymore.
Yeah.
Right now it's Patrick Reed.
Mhm.
That's just calling it from miles and miles away, and who knows? Maybe one of us is right about this. And
Yeah, I mean Brooks could have another wrist injury between now and then. He's pretty susceptible to that. So
that's
never
interesting.
know.
He has had some issues staying healthy, which is a shame because he's when he's hitting it, it's fun
he
to
had
watch.
the hip. He
The
had
hip,
the
he had a
wrist.
knee.
say Sanjay M.
Ooh,
Oh, but
okay.
I'll say Sanjay M.
he played well.
Specifically because he's like the straightest
Golfer
hitter of the golf ball.
ever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much ever.
doesn't curve the ball at all.
No, it doesn't
It's-
curve the ball at all.
he's-
And at Augusta, that's proven to like work.
He is like robotic.
And
Yeah.
I
Like I feel like he doesn't have a voice. He talks like when you
he
talk. to him,
played
it's
so
like a
good
robot.
Yeah.
He played so good a few months ago at Augusta.
Yes,
And
he did.
that course just seemed to really set up well.
But again, how much is that because he played well in Augusta or played good at Augusta in the fall?
Right. I think that's a huge factor,
Yeah.
though. Like, the sun was in a different place. Like, the grass wasn't going to be, they were talking about, like, how the grass, like, almost moves with the sun during the day.
Yeah.
And in the springtime, it's moving a different way than it does in the fall time. So
I'll tell you right now, too, bold statement, I think some of the full disclaimer, the Korean men want to do what the Korean women are doing.
yes,
They
do.
want that. They want to just destroy.
I'm glad you
everybody.
disclaimed that, yeah.
Like, no, again, that's not me, like, but
Yeah.
like, I just,
There
I
are
mean,
some
look at
good
what
players.
the Korean women are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they win all the time.
They really do.
They're so good, and I think that some of these Korean guys are, they want that,
Yeah.
and it's not even like that they get crap for it.
Right.
I don't think
Yeah,
anybody's telling them like, oh, you need to win. I think they want what they're.
You're starting to see more, a more Asian golfer swing in the PGA, which was not a big thing. I mean, it's not Korean, but Hideki Matsuyama is, a good player that I think has potential to win big tournaments.
If he ever switches away from a blade, he'll win 5 majors.
You think so?
Yeah.
Really?
If he ever putts with a mallet, yeah, he played one tournament with a mallet, WGC event, shoots 61 on Sunday, makes everything, switches right back to a blade. Hasn't heard from him since.
It doesn't make sense.
If he switches away from a blade, he'll win 5 majors. If he doesn't, he'll win 0.
Now, okay, so as somebody who's, that fits people,
Yeah.
How is it that somebody is not in his ear telling him that?
That's, it's a little different fitting because, like, I haven't seen his numbers. Maybe he does get better, spit roll percentage. Maybe he hits it more in the center of the face. All I know is he put with a halfback Scotty Cameron, which is like a mid mallet.
Yeah.
Goes out shoots 61 on a WGC course and wins, and never putts with it again. I mean, I don't even fitting alone, just from just common sense. If you do that, you keep playing that putter until it stops working.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Like it was the only tournament. You might quote me if I'm wrong in the comments or whatever. I'm pretty sure he's the only tournament he ever played with that putter, won, and never used it again. It blows my mind. And
yeah, because there's really not like.
And he's not a great putter at all.
You can't even justify that.
It's
there's almost nothing that he could say to where like, well, I just didn't like this. Well, it's like, okay, it doesn't matter.
You
You made every putt. Like, you made
WGC
everything with it. Like, what are you talking
Shot
about?
61. I dream about shooting 61, especially at a
I shot
course
61,
like that.
and then I played the last 4 holes.
Yes. So, I think we've covered the 2020 season pretty well. We've kind of got into the 2021 season a little bit here. The Hawaii swing, so we've got next weekend is the Champions event, correct?
DJ.
And then we have the Sony Open, the American Express, and the Farmers Insurance Open. Those 4 tournaments in January. 4 tournaments, 4 winners, and then we'll jump to some other things quick. 4 tournaments, 4 winners. It doesn't have to be specific to tournament. Just
I'm going on superstition with mine.
Champions: Justin Thomas, Sony, Ricky Fowler. And I'm disclaiming it as if he plays. I don't know if he's in the field. That's the hard thing. I don't even know who's in these fields.
Well, they haven't been
100%.
announced yet, so we're just throwing shit at the wall and hoping.
I'm saying that if Ricky plays in the Sony Open, he wins. Throwing it out there, sticking with that. American Express. No idea. I know that Tony Finau is going to win the Farmers Insurance Open, so there's that. And
Wait, who?
Tony Finau wins the Farmers Insurance Open.
Okay.
And in the middle, I'm just going to say someone outside of the top 50 in the world. I don't know who it is, but it'll be a random, not your run-of-the-mill name guy. So there you go.
All right, Dan.
I'm going DJ.
For all 4 of them?
No, for the Century Tournament of Champions, I'm going DJ. Sony Open, I don't know the field.
I don't know the field.
Nobody does.
We're assuming. We're just pulling his name.
Assuming?
We're just
Justin Thomas for that one.
Throwing
He
shit
always
at the
plays.
wall.
He plays
shot 59 there.
He shot 59 there, and he plays well consistently there, like every single year.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the Century Tournament Champions, definitely DJ for sure. And I really genuinely think it's just because of the new equipment.
Okay.
I really do. I think
Sim
Taylor.
2, that
I think
looked
TaylorMade's
exactly
gonna.
like Sim 1.
I think TaylorMade's gonna get in his ear, and they're gonna be like, "Win for us, like win," and he's gonna be like, "Okay." And, no, he does. They do consistently. TaylorMade's the only company that cares about that crap.
He's the only reason he cares is because they write him a $10 million check every year.
Would that motivate? Would that motivate you? That would motivate me. I think that's what it's.
I'd look at it as if I was Dustin Johnson, I'd be like, you should be honored I play your equipment. You should pay me.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like they like. I mean, I don't know. I have this weird. You guys can judge me if you want the comments. I don't even care at this point. I think that.
Can we talk about that? How Sim 2 is literally
the same thing.
I'll give you my picks.
If you're buying Sim 2, you're paying for the 2 next to it versus anything else.
You can't get away from the fact that tournament is the first tournament of the year where every single player has the new equipment. Yeah. Every single company is telling these players, go win for us. Make this look good. Because it propels that whatever company
let him get his comment.
So I got Johnson, Thomas, Rahm, Finau.
Ooh.
So
okay.
That's
Rahm.
And let me go back. Let me go back and preface this with my comment about Sim 2.
Yeah.
Sim was our number 1 selling driver this year. That thing is a monster. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thing is a monster. Sim and Sim Max are great drivers. I've seen Sim 2 in person, and other than a little bit of extra carbon fiber, you're going to get a Sim with the number 2 on it. And it's still
he's right, though. It's true. He's right.
It's still a really freaking good driver.
Yes,
so don't not go out and buy Sim 2 because of that. I'm just saying, you're paying for the 2.
I had some serious Nike throwback vibes when I saw that thing because it's got a little bit of that blue and green.
Yeah.
That the last couple ones. Mm-hmm. And I even said that to our rep, and he was like, "Yeah, it's kind of where we pulled the color from." That, Yeah. So it does look good.
It looks great.
It looks fantastic.
I don't really know how much is different, but when it's already the best driver in the world, I don't know how much where you go. So.
Well, you also, there's a bunch of uncontracted golfers right now playing Sim.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Tommy Fleetwood playing Sim. You had Brooks Koepka. You had a bunch of guys that were playing them. So yeah, you can't really go wrong with it.
There's so much good equipment coming out next year.
Yeah.
Drivers alone. We could get into it.
Yeah.
So let's start to close up shop here.
Yeah.
Couple little things. We're gonna try and do a video. It won't be live. We're gonna try and do a review. We tried to do it once already of an in-home simulator. The video didn't come out. We needed to tweak some things. And we also want to show off the TrackMan 4. Is it the 4?
4.
The TrackMan 4 here at Golf Etc. So we're gonna do a little bit of a video about that and try and get some YouTube stuff out there that if you guys have questions about things or you want to see things from us, let us know. We'll be happy to do it. Any closing thoughts, Tommy?
No.
Anything to plug?
No. Yes, as always, we're here at Golf Etc. You can follow us on our social media at Golf Etc. Lank on Instagram. We always have a lot of fun polls, just information about what we're doing in the shop, some tips on your swing. There's a lot of different content on there, and then it's Golf Etc. Likes are on Facebook. We're creeping up on 1,000 likes on Facebook, and once we hit that, we're going to be doing another giveaway. So, if you want to be a part of that, that'd be great. Other than that, we got a full schedule of fittings, and we're happy about that, and hopefully see that continue into the new year.
We'll be doing a polo giveaway too, a pull the pin polo, golf polo shirt. That'll be coming up here in the next week or so. I'm hoping the Pull the Pin Twitter site, we're at like 40 followers. Get on, follow the Twitter. I throw stuff up all the time. I'm trying to decide whether we're going to give that shirt away during a podcast or a Twitter type of thing. We'll see what happens there. Dan, anything to throw in here at the end?
No, pretty much everything Tom said took everything I would say. So
if you're in the Lancaster area and you need a golf or a swing coach, Dan Hernley is your guy. Teaches them right here out of the facility, and I don't know anybody for the money that's worth your time more than that. So
yeah,
we're also going to hopefully, if we get some nice weather, get out and we'll do some 6-hole matches that we'll videotape. You can watch these two hit it good. and me beat them because I get some strokes.
He shot
So,
74 today. Okay, he pretends that he's bad, but he's good. So
I just try and
don't listen to him.
get my strokes where I
He's
can.
trying to get more strokes.
Damn right.
He's just trying to get. Yeah,
I'm not that guy that's gonna lie about how low his handicap is. I might lie that it's a little higher, trying to get those strokes. Everybody, thank you for watching. This was a blast. We'll be back again soon. Tournament coming up next weekend. We'll do a preview of that and probably a live watch, hopefully, for one of the rounds, preferably the last round. But TPL is just blowing up. They are on all the time. Getting a live stream on right now is difficult because they're doing awesome and it's good stuff. Check them out. The Painted Lines YouTube channel. Go check it out. Pull the Pin 2021 at Pull the Pin 2021 Twitter, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for being here.